even like Tom King, recent Batman writer, he's like, you know what, we're gonna do in Gotham. There's a place called Bat Burger, which is just a Batman themed restaurant that apparently he never knew about. That they just go to. It's like a staple, just in that one run where he's like, yeah, Bat Burger. Also in that, Tom King's like, yeah, Batman would eat his burger with a fork and a knife. Why don't you like pineapple on pizza?
Okay, hear me out. I'm not Italian, but I gotta think that every Italian grandmother that has ever made homemade pizza would roll over in their grave if someone dare put pineapple on their pizza.
Not a big fan of B-dubs. Just whenever I've had it, it's just been not the best quality. I think that's just the one that's near me versus Wingstop. Hello everyone, welcome to LDPP episode 18. With me today is just Crad. Strange is still traveling, and Silly, we don't know.
He's being silly somewhere.
He's doing his silly things, whatever it may be. He might also be traveling. We don't know. They are the two that travel the most out of both of us. So, but if you listen to last week's episode, I think it cut off. But we were giving Crad a hard time about pineapple on pizza. So, I know, Crad, you love pineapple on pizza. It's your favorite thing.
So much. Every restaurant I go to, I request pineapple on my pizza.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If they don't, I'm very offended if they don't have that.
Oh yeah, it's a common staple for you. But we decided, hey, that's a fun episode idea. Mainly because my main thing is talking about different food stuff that's out there. So I thought it would be a perfect episode. So, Crad, why don't you like pineapple on pizza?
Okay, hear me out. I'm not Italian, but I gotta think that every Italian grandmother that has ever made homemade pizza would roll over in their grave if someone dare put pineapple on their pizza. It does not belong on a pizza.
Go ahead.
I'll
defend it because I like pineapple on pizza, but like in small amounts. You don't need to cover the thing in pineapple, and not just pineapple by itself. You have to have other things with it. You gotta have. You gotta have your.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You gotta have your bacon. You gotta have. I like banana peppers on it because it balances everything together. And you gotta have like your since you gotta do like actual Hawaiian, so you gotta have your ham or your bacon, pineapple, maybe banana peppers and some other stuff. Pineapple by itself just does not work on it by itself.
Well, for me, I'm a big texture guy, and that goes not just with pizza, that goes to basically anything. And so when I'm thinking pizza, I'm thinking of the sauce, I'm thinking of the cheese, I'm thinking of the pepperoni. But then you get to a bite of pineapple. Like, I like pineapple in itself,
right.
Outside of, like, I like the flavor of pineapple. I don't have a problem with that. But there's just something about putting on a pizza where it's supposed to be more, for me, more of a savory, smooth kind of dish,
Right.
Then you have a pineapple. It kind of interrupts what I'm trying to go for here. That's just me. I mean, you might like it, but to me, it's just a weird texture thing for me. It's the same thing with mushrooms. I just can't understand mushrooms on a pizza. Or I get bacon. Like, I can understand bacon, sausage, other meats, ham, that kind of thing. I can get with that. But for, like, when you say pineapple or mushrooms or you like banana peppers, I'm not really a big pepper guy. My number one, this is my number one. If we're going to go to the Italian side of things right now, I cannot stand, and my wife will tell you this, I cannot stand for the life of me ricotta cheese. I do not understand why it exists.
It's horrible.
I think it's the devil's bane. I do not understand it. I also do not understand that people that like cottage cheese. Cannot understand that either, to save my life. Because it's just like, to me, it's almost like eating curdled milk, is ricotta and cottage cheese. Like, I love lasagna. I found that later in life, I wish I'd found it earlier, that I really like lasagna. But a lot of traditional lasagnas have ricotta in them.
Right.
And I don't know why. I cannot stand ricotta. Like, if I eat something and realize it has ricotta, it disgusts me for some reason. But so I always have to have, if I'm having lasagna, I always have to check, like, if I'm going to a good Italian restaurant, if they have ricotta in their lasagna. Because if they do, I'll automatically not order it. I just can't do it. I don't know why. Like I said, it's a texture thing to me. I'm more of a smooth cheese kind of guy, like a mozzarella or a cheddar, or I'll even go like Swiss or pepper jack sometimes, maybe. That's a very rare. But if it's a ricotta or a cottage, I don't know understand how people eat it, especially if they're like dipping stuff in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like some
Yeah,
people
no,
dip
I
stuff in cottage cheese. What are you doing? Why are you eating pimple cream? I don't,
yeah,
the
no,
stuff that comes out of pimples. It reminds me of.
yeah, the pus, yeah, no, it doesn't. I don't. Again, I agree with you. I don't like ricotta. I don't like cottage cheese. All that. I don't like. Again, it's a texture thing. I don't like it. Now, I know some people that don't make their lasagna with it. It's just without the ricotta. It's just regular lasagna, and
Yeah,
that I can get with. But I again texture thing don't like that. Doesn't work for me. Same with like a lot of different condiment sauces. I don't like. To me, that's a thing. I'm very simple when it comes to a lot of my food. There's not gonna be a lot of sauce on it. Some people like ketchup, mustard, and mayo. Not my thing.
I can do ketchup, but mayo and mustard's not my gig either.
No, and everyone will. I kid you not. It doesn't. How long people know me? They will stare at me and like when we're all eating with friends, they'll see me and mine's like bare bones simple. You might see the side of like dipping sauce if I have wings or unless they already have sauce on them or if like chicken strips, chicken nuggets. I'm gonna have like small side dipping stuff, buffalo or barbecue. That's it.
All right,
Like nothing, no other weird comments. I don't know if it's from when I worked at Subway. I don't know if that was like one of those weird things. Since all I dealt with the cell sauce bottles, to me, like I had to clean those. If that's like part of it, I just like I don't like the texture part of it because they are
all right,
horrible to clean. Because there's no proper way to clean those things. Very
all
simple.
right.
I'm very simple. But I gotta say with like pizza, I've had one pizza place and they brought it back actually. They had Rangoon sauce on the pizza, not marinara sauce. It was Rangoon for like the base, and I was like,
Really?
yeah, it was actually really good because like again texture thing. I don't like Rangoons. I don't like the weird sweetness of it, but it
Right,
worked because that it was the base and like how it was made. It was actually really good. I was like, oh, that's actually a neat idea. It was actually really good. They called it March Crabness. That was the pizza for
March
them. But
Crabness. That's
it was
funny.
actually really good. So, but weird food takes. I tried looking up a list and there was like nothing. It's like weird crab. It's like I don't like salt or I don't like this thing. It's like not even like real hot takes. It's like I
Not
don't like
really that
salt.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like that's not really a hot take, but okay. I was like thinking I don't know. It's around here. The food places range from weird dive bar hole in the wall to pretty nice.
Right.
There is no in between around here. Like just some of the buildings, you're like, oh, that doesn't look like it's gonna be that good. Like, I kid you not, we have a place here, and I need to find where it is. The guy just opens whenever. The menu prices whatever he wants for the day, and you don't get like he'll just serve you something. That is, for some reason, he does very well because he is still open. But
Mm,
I've driven by where this place is at, and it looks like the place is abandoned.
really?
There's no sign on the door. There's no sign outside. Everyone knows where the spot is, and people say it's actually really good. I was like, that's a
Hmm.
weird business model, but if it works for you, works for you. Weird for me. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I don't know.
Hmm.
So besides pizza being the longest part podcast, is like what is like your go to like food place?
Well, I
Like if
mean, I
someone
guess
had
it.
to give you someone had to give you an option.
Right. I guess that would kind of depend upon what I was in the mood
Mm-hmm.
for. Like, I'm obviously a steak guy. I love steak. Generally has to be cooked medium well. I also found out that I like it that well way later on. It's kind of interesting because the way you're raised will often
Mm-hmm.
define what you think you like until you kind of start getting a little bit older and you'll be able to start tasting and trying things that were outside of your normal range. When you were a kid, you basically had to go wherever your parents took you, and you only had certain things you could order. So I'm learning. I'm kind of trying to expand my horizons on a lot of things. My wife is kind of partially responsible for that. Um, but I found, like I said, you can't go wrong with a good steak. So maybe like today I went to Cheddar's. I don't know if they have that where you are.
We do. We have a Cheddar's.
Yeah, and I had a steak there, and it was really good. And or I might be in the mood for Italian, like I said. So I might go have lasagna without ricotta, of course. We've already discussed that. Or I might have a pizza or a calzone, that kind of thing. Barbecue is another big one for me, but it has to be a sweet barbecue sauce.
Mm.
Myself, some people like it really vinegary or tangy or whatever, but I'm more of a sweet barbecue kind of guy. So really, I guess it really depends upon the mood that I'm in. Now, most of the time, you will not find me in like a Chinese or Asian restaurant. Nothing, no offense to their type of food. Some people love it. My wife is one of those that loves Asian food and Chinese food. But it's just not my gig. It's not my thing. And it's like, it's just no offense to them. It's a personal preference. But I won't be in a place like that most of the time. Now, you may find me in a Mexican place, big taco or nachos kind of guy. And there's actually a place fairly close to where I live, about 20, 25 minutes down the road, that has this dish called it's called Eastly Papas, is what they call it. And basically, what it is it's French fries with grilled steak on it and cheese covering it, and it's delicious. And I love that. And it's at a Mexican place, so it really
Nice.
just depends upon the mood I'm in. How about you? What are some of your go-to places?
Uh, I'm not a big fan of Mexican. Never really have been. I I don't know. I don't know if it was just a lot of the just different stuff that Mexican places have. It's not really my thing. So like a lot of beans, a lot of rice, not my big thing. I'm just like
Right,
I like rice, but I don't like I don't like in a like in a Mexican setting. I can go for wings a lot of the time. I prefer Wingstop over B
mm-hmm.
Dubs. Not a big fan of B Dubs. Just whenever I've had it, it's just been not the best quality. I think that's just the one that's near me versus Wingstop. Pretty decent quality. Really like theirs. Steak, whenever I have it, I mean, like you're saying, it changes when you're around people. Like my dad makes it a certain way whenever we're
Right,
grilling, wherever we're grilling out. Until like now, if we're out eating somewhere and I'm in the mood for a steak, if I see like other people getting steak, I'm like, oh, I might get a steak with everyone else. Like if with my like family and like my like if with my especially with my dad's side when we eat out more with my dad's side, we'll get sometimes the guys will get steaks. Like not all of us, but like a group of us will get steaks, and I'll go medium rare with it. I like a little red in it. I don't want like raw.
mm-hmm.
I know some people like it almost raw, and to those people, kudos. Like medium pink is where I'm at with it, just where I could taste it, have a little flavor in there. I have a
Right,
friend that hates that. I found this out back when we had a Bible study. We said, "Hey, we're gonna go to Texas Roadhouse. We're gonna meet up." And I was like, "Oh, I'll do a steak because I don't know what else." I was like, "Oh, I'm not really mood for anything else. Oh, I'll get a steak." And she was just like, "Why are you eating that?" I was like, "This is how I like it." And then we had a whole discussion about it. It was to this day, she's just like, "I don't understand how you eat that stuff." I'm like, "I that's just how I like it. That's just how I prefer it when I'm not around other people." So
mm-hmm.
but yeah, if I like go anywhere else, like by myself, I like Chinese food. Again, I think I have to be in the mood for it. I had some today. I had to be. I was like just really in the mood for it. Depends on where you go because some places are like very different. You go from like Panda Express to like some of our local. We have like four different Chinese places, all owned by the same person, and each one is different quality. It's actually
Right.
kind of weird. Like each one's different quality. Um, but like chicken strips is just like my concept. Like you give me a basket of chicken strips for most places, I'll be fine. That's my thing. But
I'm a big chicken guy too.
depending where you go though, because some of them either it's very breaded, you can tell, and it's like very salty, and it doesn't like it feels like they just put it in the microwave, or you go like somewhere else and it's like hot off out of the fryer, like really good, like just
Right.
the right amount of breading, where it's crunchy, where you can still like enjoy the chicken. Um, Culver's for a lot of us because I was on the basketball team in high school. That was our constant after game place to go because it was like the only place that like was in a big parking lot because we
Mm-hmm.
had like the whole van. We had like not just the guys, we also had the girls because they had their volleyball team with us. So we had to find somewhere that was adjacent enough for everyone to go. So it was just whatever was nearby. But Culver's is I don't know if you have one near you.
No, not that
Ah,
close to my thing.
it's pretty. It's very much anything Midwest. So imagine like cheese curds, your chicken baskets,
Right.
burgers, milkshakes, all that stuff. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's some places I don't know. I like Culver's. Raising Cane's, people really like. I'm just kind of in middle in the road liking. I don't know. I had it once. I was like, This is kind of fine. This is not what I'm like what I expect. What I'm expecting from what I've heard from people. I'm like,
Right.
but I can get behind why people like. I don't like their sauce. I find it too salty. I prefer now. I don't like all the salt flavor, but if you like it, you like it. At least that's what I got from it. Um, I don't know. It's weird. Some people are like, yeah, you got to check this place out. You like, I like this place, and then you try it, and you're like, oh, I don't really like that. It's kind of sad because you want to like, because they'll go ask you when you go try it. You're like, hey, did you like it? I'm like, I was like, oh, I really didn't like it for X reason. I feel like there's a couple of those places that like are very overhyped.
Mm.
Like it's, I don't know. Like McDonald's, everyone likes McDonald's, but you could say it's kind of overhyped. But
Right. So I know your main thing is you go out and try
mm-hmm.
different kind of foods and things like that. Um, Not to kind of spoil what you have going on and everything, but what are some of the most interesting things you think you've tried lately?
um, trying to think what because some of it lately it's just been like the same stuff. Like every like at least some companies will be like, hey, we're gonna do this item because it's and like everyone does like it's a random trend, and I'll gripe
Right.
about that because I'm like, oh, I see what the trend is, but like no one's gonna do anything new with it. Um, trying to think, it's really lately it's been like the soda companies that have been doing weird stuff like Pepsi's gonna be bringing back pineapple Pepsi here soon. That
Speaking
was
of
in
pineapples,
yeah, that was it's actually not that bad. Um, IHOP Monday is gonna for April Fools, and it's not an April Fools joke. Is gonna be bringing back the maple syrup Pepsi with just through them.
what?
But yeah, it's
Wow.
like I had it when it first came out. When the cans they had a promotional thing. It's actually not that bad. Pepsi, I think, is the only one that can do it because Pepsi has that like that certain flavor, and like
Right.
it pairs very well with like maple syrup. It was like very sweet, but like savory. It was actually really neat.
That's crazy.
I really liked that. That was actually pretty good. Um, but like nothing's really like standing out right now, just because everything again, everyone likes to do the same thing. Um, Sonic had a pulled pork sandwich, but like which I like pulled pork sandwiches, but I don't know. Whenever I go to you do fast food, it doesn't feel right unless it's like homemade. It's one of those
Right.
things where it's like when it's homemade, it's like really good. Sonic's wasn't bad, but like you know what, we're gonna add a beef patty to it.
Mm.
There's already pulled pork on it. We'll add a beef patty to it.
Really?
Yeah, it's that and like
That's
a
very strange.
yeah, or like Hardee's had like a Philly. And again, I prefer way better homemade than like a regular fast food place. I don't know, just something about it. You never really go to like a fast food place to get like a Philly. You kind of make that at home. It was one of those things. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm trying to think the weirdest thing I've had. Again, Chinese pizza. That was weird. I'm trying to think. There's one place I went to. This was before I was doing videos on my senior trip. The place we went called Fogo de Chao is like a Brazilian cuisine.
Hmm.
Spent way too much money there, as you do at Brazilian restaurants on your senior trip.
Right.
And the whole thing was they gave you your drink coaster, and one side was red, one side was green, and they'll just keep bringing out different meats or like different kinds.
Hmm.
And it was actually really interesting. But like they had like something I don't know what it was, but it was like very dry, and everyone was like really liking. It. I'm like I don't like this because like they're like yeah, it's really good. I'm like it was like very dry. I don't know if I got like a bad one, like something that just overcooked.
Hmm.
I don't. I think it was flaming neon. It was like very dry. I was like I don't like this. And there's other stuff
Hmm.
I had. I was like oh this is interesting. Like they had like some bacon wrap stuff and other stuff like that that I find interesting. Funny story with that because Talon was there, and we found these hot peppers. And for some reason, he and I decided, hey, let's challenge each other to see who will survive. And he kept doing like they're tiny, like maybe they're the size of your thumbnail. And
Hmm.
he kept doing one or two at a time. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do. So I just grabbed a spoonful of them and did them. I
Woo.
don't know. I, I don't know what hoppers were. I was like, and everyone's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, I gotta use the restroom. Like I like it just crimped everything up. I was like, oh, that's a bad idea. What I just did
Yeah.
because
No kidding.
some part of me thought I could do better. I don't know what I was thinking. I I was fine after that. Like it, just like one of us was like, "Oh, hey, you're an idiot." Like I was fine, but I was like, "Hey, don't eat those. No one's gonna like those." I don't know what it
Wow.
was. I don't know what part of my mind thought that was a good idea, especially on our senior trip. At a Brazilian restaurant. I don't know what my idea was, but yeah, I don't. There's nothing. I don't know. It's maybe because like the American part of us, where we just have to Americanize food. Like
Mm,
especially in the Midwest, we're like, hey, let's add bacon to it. Hey, let's add gravy to it. Like,
right.
let's. Oh, KFC had the pizza. That was a weird thing.
Right.
Where it's
I
just
didn't
like
try that.
a chicken, like a chicken breast with like marinara sauce and all that. I was like, this is definitely like the epitome of America. Like, uh, I found it very interesting. Silly will not be here. He's busy with family.
Yeah, I saw that come through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Figures, figures dealing with family. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Is there like with fast food? Is there like a very good? I think we've touched on this when we've done like holiday themed episodes. Like a very good like homemade meal you like.
Now, you talking about fast food or more of a casual kind of deal?
Casual deal. Unless
Okay.
for holidays you do fast food, which I
All
know
right.
some people that do that.
Well, some people do that. I don't. Um, if I'm, well, I mean, even if I'm going fast food, I'm a big fan of their mashed potato bowls,
Mm-hmm.
which has, of course, the chicken and the mashed potatoes and the corn and the gravy. Those are really good. I really enjoyed those. Um, I really enjoy those when I get to have them. And then as far as more of a casual place, that would kind of, I don't know, maybe Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel is one of those places we like going there, especially when we're again traveling to see family. I have family live up in Connecticut. We
Mm,
go, so it's like an 18-hour freaking drive. So like that's like the one place like, oh, we'll go there. We know we want that's a usual like attainable place that's not too far out of the way. When we have family here, at least it was a tradition when we had our grandparents from there come down. Golden Corral.
I was
Well,
going to say that. That's
I
the next
said
thing I was
Golden
going to say.
Corral until they closed ours down and then reopened it. It was I don't know. I haven't been to Golden Corral forever, but it's I don't think they ever changed. Like they're this weird point in time. Like you go there and it seems like it never changes.
Now that I've been to a few different ones, and they kind of lay it out differently sometimes, but a
Really.
lot of it is similar. Yeah.
To be fair, I do live in the Midwest, so some stuff just seems like it just freezes in time, like it never changes.
Right.
So it's
Right.
just the Midwest part of it. Like I don't know, it's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, Golden Corral I don't dislike. Again, I haven't had it in a while, so I really can't speak on its quality anymore. Um,
I'm
Texas
a.
Road
You're like reading my mind. I was literally about to say that. I'm
Texas
a big fan of Texas
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yeah.
I think it's a little overrated, but I think because like ours is like very busy all the time, and that's every Texas Roadhouse. But
Yeah.
ours is just I think ours is a little overrated. I don't know.
Right.
I don't like sitting around and waiting forever. That's my thing.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with
Especially
you
with
there.
especially when I'm a group of people. If I'm with friends, or if I'm like with family, I'm just like I don't want to sit here for an hour waiting for
Or you're
for
really really
someone.
hungry.
Oh yeah, if you're very very hungry and you're just like I don't wait here for an hour. That was always our thing on our school trips. So with basketball, like after a game, you're really hungry and you're just like, we got to go find somewhere to go. And Culver's was always our thing because our high school principal was our coach for a little bit, so he'd always got to choose where we'd go. And he always liked
Mhm.
Culver's. Like his whole family likes Culver's. Like I'm sure they have so many points there, especially when ours opened up of how like with how much they got. Um, I do not like Steak and Shake. That's the one place we stopped going on school stuff because
Hmm.
Steak Shake sucks. We went there for some school activity. At my school, we had like how would you describe it? It was a school. It was essentially a school competition for the other different private schools in
Hmm.
Indiana. So there'd be like 30 different schools in like one building, and we are like, hey, we're gonna go to Steak and Shake, and we're ordering food, and it might have been a basketball game actually. Because I'm thinking about it because we just got shakes, so it had to be after a basketball game. So why would we just order shakes during the
Right.
school activity? and me and the principal were waiting there. I was sitting right next to him, and we look over and we see that instead of like pour it into the cup, the lady is just not gloved, just pulling handfuls into shakes cups, and we're just like, oh, we're not coming here.
What?
Like we're not coming here again. Like
Wow.
it was like, and it wasn't just one time we saw it too. It was like several shakes. We're like, all right, we're not doing this again. This is a little sketchy. Like that's most steak and shakes
That's crazy.
too. Like that's I was like, this is bizarre. I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, we are so trusting as a people that we put trust in other people and go to restaurants and stuff and allow
Oh
other
yeah.
people that we don't even know to
Oh
prepare
yeah.
something that is literally going inside of our bodies.
Oh yeah. Trust me, I worked fast food, so if you've heard my stories,
Did there? Been there, done that?
yeah, no, dude. Like some people, like you're supposed to wear gloves, and I knew people that didn't want to wear gloves. I'm like, no, you gotta wear your flipping like you
Or
might
come
not
in
like
sick as a
them.
dog?
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm glad I don't do food service anymore. Like I always had like especially during COVID, they really had you wash your hands, and like I get eczema on my arm, like on my hands, really bad
Hmm.
in the winter mostly, and there like it went like drove it up because I was washing my hands so much. Like my hands were like a different color, like red or purple, of like how dry my skin was. Like it was. I was like, this sucks. Like kudos to the
Wow.
people that are still doing food service. We appreciate you, but like some of the people that get hired, it's like, oh, this is little this is a little odd. Like, but also they could be the nicest people on the planet,
Hmm.
or like the worst people on the planet. Like, still thinking back to like school trips again, like school convention, whatever we do. Me and Talon, we went to a Wendy's because this church had a Wendy's right next to it. So
Hmm.
of course that place got flooded with like 30 different schools all at once. I felt so bad for this Wendy's. But we're standing there, we're getting food, we're all sitting down at a table, and we're waiting. And I don't know what we were waiting for. We're waiting for part of our food, but I think we hadn't gotten our drinks yet. I think we were getting our drinks. I think, and this Wendy's had the freestyle machine in it. And
Okay.
this lady, not working there, started yelling at us. She's like, "Hey, don't use the freestyle machine." And we're like, "What the heck's going on?"
What?
She's like, yeah. She was trying to be. I think she was trying to be helpful and saying, "Oh, hey, it's empty because this place got hit with 30 different schools at once, so this place was like full, and like they're running. They I kid you, went, apparently they had to go to the Walmart, grab a bunch of like 2 liter like 2 liters to do drinks
That's crazy.
because we like again 30 different schools were going to one Wendy's at a time. So when this lady started yelling at us, we couldn't figure out why she was yelling at us. But apparently they hadn't put a sign up because they were so busy. Like, if you need a drink, let us know. We have a machine in the back. That's what she was trying to. But she didn't work there, so I don't know what her deal was. But Tal and I were just like, oh, we're just gonna get water. That's what all we're getting right now. Like, it was just fun. It was just like, this is bizarre. It's like,
Wow.
thanks, lady. But I don't know. I found it really funny. Um, Pivoting to because we were like nerds and everything. Is there like a food place in like nerd or like food stuff and like nerd culture, video games stuff like that you'd really like to try?
Like if I had the option to try?
Mm-hmm. Like if somehow you got thrown into that world, or someone decided to make it in real life.
Right. I got you. Well, I'll throw back to what I was saying earlier about lasagna. I would like to try the lasagna that Garfield has.
He seems to
'Cause-
really like it, so it must be really good.
yeah. So like that
Whatever
lasagna.
whatever brand it is, because I think it's just lasagna. I don't think they ever like make a company in it. Like it's
Yeah. I don't know if John makes it homemade or he just buys it somewhere from a
if
restaurant and
it's
brings it in or what.
if I remember in the movies, it's like freezer lasagna, but I don't remember in the strips if he makes it. I know in the new movie it seems like it's from a like a local restaurant, like Italian restaurant. If
Right.
it's in the new movie,
And then I
I
would say the
think.
other thing that would be cool is to share pizza with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but they like weird stuff. They like mushroom, like no, they like marshmallows on their pizza. Like they like
Okay, that's
weird
fair.
out there stuff. I don't know where they're getting all this stuff. They live in the sewers. Like
That's fair too.
somehow they're going to the grocery store. I guess now they can just DoorDash it all. or Postmates at all. Be like Postmates all the groceries.
Hmm.
Or if it's the new movie, what they do is they sneak in during the night, but when the grocery store is still open and somehow paying for it. I don't know how they pay for stuff, honestly, because I don't think that much change gets flushed down the toilet for them to pay for stuff. But it is New York.
Well, they got to get paid for fighting crime, right?
They got to do
Somehow.
something. Or if it's this makes me flush like in a movie. I don't know if you saw the original movie, how they ordered pizza.
Not
Somehow,
sure if I'm not.
somehow they ran a phone line down to the sewer. Like they had a full phone booth in the sewer.
Really?
Somehow they strung one down there. Somehow I got signal. They would order the pizza, and instead of just going, "Hey, leave it," at they would feed it through the slot in the grate.
Really?
So
Interesting.
the pizza's ruined, because you have to flip it sideways because they're going through the grate.
Hmm.
And it was Domino's pizza specifically. Maybe it was that way.
Oh.
Maybe it was that way because like, hey, we got to show it's Domino's and specifically Domino's.
Hmm.
It was really weird. Like the whole scene, he's like trying to find the address, and I think it's Mikey. He's like in the sewer grate. He's like, hey, down here. I was like, I'm sorry. If a New York pizza guy, he'd be like, oh, you're pranking me. I'm gonna leave. If it was anyone else,
Hmm.
but that's like a constant every any like version that's kind of like the same thing. Like they order it, unless it's the comics where like Mikey meets a guy and like they're friends, and he'll bring them pizza. That's one way they do it. I find that really humorous, even though Pizza Hut sponsors those movies a lot of the time, but they never have Pizza Hut pizza. It's always Domino's
Hmm.
for some reason, at least in the first movie. And then I don't remember
Interesting.
what it is in the second movie. And then the third movie, they tried making pizza back in feudal Japan
No, there
for
you
some
go.
reason, which I find really funny. It's I don't know. To me, so there's a book I really like, and it's called Kingdom Come. It's a DC Comics book, but in it there's a joke because it's the writer was really making a point about the like edginess of like heroes like then, especially in the '90s.
Hmm.
He's like a warning about that stuff, but in it, it opens up in a place called Planet Krypton. So it's essentially Planet Hollywood.
Hmm.
But a character from DC Comics who is from the future came to the past to get rich. He's like, well, I can't get rich in the future. I'll go to the past where all these heroes live, and I'll be their buddy, and I'll get rich off of them. Like that was like his whole character, and essentially he just made a restaurant, and he made all workers dress up as these different characters, and like that's the restaurant. And there's all these like different jokes, because it's a joke with one of the characters. Essentially, there's a Dickensian Ghost of Christmas Past type character from DC Comics is there, and he's ordering food with a character, and it's called like the Spectre spinach sandwich. And he's like, "Why is it that?" He's like, "Why is that? Why am I named after that? One, how does this guy know who I am? Because no one really knows who I am. Because like I'm like a spectral figure. Like no one should
Hmm.
know who I am." But it's like a really funny joke. It's like, "Oh yeah, we would definitely commercialize our heroes in any way. Like go to Disneyland and they're commercializing all their characters." But I'd like to visit that one because it's a tribute place.
Right.
Like it'd be really fun to see everything. More or less, I'd like to see how Batman would handle it. It'd be like, why is my face over everything? I like even like Tom King, recent Batman writer. He's like, you know what? We're gonna do Bat in Gotham. There's a place called Bat Burger, which is just a Batman themed restaurant
Hmm.
that apparently he never knew about. That they just go to is like a staple, just in that one run where he's like, yeah, Bat Burger. Also in that, Tom King's like, yeah, Batman would eat his burger with a fork and a knife. For some reason, he
Bat burger.
yeah, that's the ad. That's how they do it. Just Adam
That's
West it
funny.
up. I don't know. There's a couple of places like, but it's weird. Like I think what is it? Binging with Babish. I think he does
Yeah.
some of that where he's like, it's this thing. It's like, yeah, but it's not correct though because like that's my own gripe with like when people are doing that. He's like, if it's this specific beef, like this cow probably doesn't taste like a regular cow. It feels like it was like an alien cow.
Hmm.
Like it's I don't know. But I'd like to see more places do that, like at cons stuff like that. Especially if like the company's there, be like have like a little pop up booth. Be like we're gonna have Bat Burger or like stuff like that. Marvel doesn't have that. I found that because I made a small video on this. Marvel doesn't have any of that. Honestly,
Mm.
like like it's very much just like Lou's Diner, or it's like a or like Lee's Diner. Like it's like a homage to the certain creator or writer or something like that, or like artist. It's there's never Planet Krypton, Bat Burger, Big Belly Burger. Like it's never like where DC's like, yeah, no, we have like these places that pop up in multiple things, which
I
I
got a
find
couple.
funny.
I got a couple more. One would be I would like to have Ratatouille cook me a meal.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would freak out finding out that they're rats,
Right.
though they
So I
never
mean,
really.
I'd make sure you wash his paws first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they never. Well, I'd say that until Disney does a Ratatouille streaming service on Disney Plus,
Right.
where they explain someone, a new food critic comes in and he's disgusted by all the rats, just like they're all diseased. Give it time.
And the other thing I would do is go to Good Burger.
Yeah, Good Burger. I never watched the second one,
I haven't
but
watched
that
the second
would,
one yet either, actually.
but that'd be an interesting place to visit.
Good
Just
Burger,
like,
home of the Good Burger. May I
yeah,
take your order?
I feel like I've been there because it very
Really?
seems like a very Midwest place. I feel like
Hmm.
I've met those people. I
That
don't
would be
know.
surprising.
Oh yeah, it's interesting. That's I never thought of that with Good Burger, even though
Right.
it's very much like a very burger place. Like it's unless you get like there's like the signature sauce, of course. But it's like yeah, that'd be one place to visit. Krusty Krab would be another place
I
to
was
visit. Would
thinking
be
that one too.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised Nickelodeon. Actually, I don't know if Nickelodeon or Universal has something like that. They have a Krusty Krab place. I am really surprised if they don't. Seeing how they really love like SpongeBob's their Nickelodeon's mascot at this point.
Right.
Like
Right. Right. He's been around forever too, man.
yeah, like what 90s, like late 90s.
Yeah, he's been around a minute for sure.
I'm really surprised. I wonder because the creators really didn't like all that franchising stuff. Like he didn't want to do spin-offs. He didn't really want to do movies after the first one. So I wonder if like that was part of his thing. Where he's like, no, we're not going to do this. And of course now he's dead. But now Nickelodeon's like, no, we're doing like we're spin-offs. We're going to do multiple movies.
Who's dead?
I'm the creator of SpongeBob, Stephen Hillenburg.
Oh, is he dead?
Yeah, he died of like a brain aneurysm. It was something like that. It was really sudden.
Really?
Yeah, it was
I
like
don't
a
know. I
couple.
feel like I should have known that.
It was a couple years ago,
Hmm.
and I immediately Nickelodeon's like, and he's dead. Two new shows.
Out of tribute to him.
Yeah, yeah. Even though he was known for not wanting spinoffs,
Right.
which I find really funny.
I'm
And,
not
like
sure why I didn't
it's
realize that.
yeah, it's sad, but like that's Nickelodeon all over.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what's another place in cartoons I like to visit. Um, Ben 10 really popular smoothies. I guess I'll just go down to the smoothie place. But like, I don't know. Smoothies is one of those things where it's like I kind of like, but you have to be in the mood for
Right.
because it's very close to a milkshake. I mean, it is very different, but it's like, do I want this thing? Like, we have a tropical smoothie, and I actually do like tropical smoothies. Like, their flatbread's actually pretty good. They had a chocolate smoothie. What was the they had like a gingerbread smoothie. It actually
Hmm.
wasn't that bad. I don't know. Gingerbread stuff's weird because it's very ginger heavy, and ginger in small amounts is good. Too much, and it's just
Too much.
there. Yeah, I hate. That's what my thing about a lot of holiday stuff is. It's like peppermint,
Yeah.
gingerbread, and that's it.
Yeah. On my honeymoon, I had a ginger beer, and before y'all to judge me, it had no alcohol. So calm down, people who ever watch this.
Non-alcoholic ginger beers.
No, non-alcoholic ginger beer. And the last sip of that thing I took, I thought was going to knock me on my rear end. It was so powerful.
Because it
It was
all
like
collects. It all
it all collected
collects.
at the bottom,
That's
and it
funny.
was like, holy cow, that was like powerful. I was like, dag gone. But yeah, so it was a ginger beer. I don't know if I
Yikes.
ever had one again, but it was like, whew.
Yeah, no. I like ginger beer, but again, like depends. Some are very strong, or that they're very subtle, depending on them. But like some of them are just like, oh, this is something you're gonna sip on all day because it's so strong. Like
Right.
it's like one of those things. It's like some sodas too, where it's like, oh, this is a little too much.
Hmm.
Like um, Jones right now likes to do like their seasonal. They had a sugar cookie soda, wasn't that bad. They had a turkey and gravy one, which was horrible.
Hmm.
Again, because it's gravy. It was like, oh, that's just the first sip was just like gravy. I was like, someone's gonna like this. Like this is someone's acquired taste. Um, Sour. I don't like a lot of sour stuff either. I know somebody like that, especially with Easter coming up. A lot of people are gonna
All right.
get sour jelly beans. I don't like a
Yeah.
lot of sour stuff. To them, their own, who really like sour stuff. Like it's I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't like. Um, and going into like reviewing like different like drink stuff like that, a lot of places like doing mango. I'm kind of tired of the mango. It's mango's again one of those things that are very overpowering.
Right.
It's especially if you pair it with dragon fruit, which they tend to do a lot. I'm sorry, there's that's too much. Dragon fruit's a very acquired taste. It's just one of those things I don't like. So, but to
Right.
them, their own. But but yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Um,
I would like to try, like, if I could, like, from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, some of those chocolates and stuff.
yeah, I am really surprised with that last Wonka movie that they didn't release a lot of different like those items
Right.
because I don't
Right.
think that because there are gobstoppers. They
Yep.
don't look like the gobstoppers from the movie.
Right.
Like I am I'm assuming the candy came after the movie because Willy Wonka is a brand. If you look at the back of the Nerds packaging, Willy Wonka,
Yeah.
that's the company.
Right.
So I'm wondering, they had to be started. I wonder how Roald Dahl feels about this.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I
I
am
wonder if
really
they give him
surprised,
a cut of the profits.
or his family. 'Cause I think he's dead, or is he
Yeah,
still
I
alive?
think yes. He might be. I don't know.
I don't remember, but I'm really surprised. Some of these, like, there aren't that stuff, or like, what is it? Like the wallpaper, candy wallpaper. Like, I'm really
Yeah,
surprised
that
that there
tastes
aren't.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really
And
surprised those aren't more things.
they had fizzy lifting drinks.
Yeah, I'm really. Especially after this movie, I was really surprised knowing now they would do that. They would commercialize the heck out of it.
He passed away in 1990.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Because I was trying to remember if he was still alive or not. Because he's kind of up there with like Dr. Seuss and a couple of those other characters or authors were like they died and now we've just been living off their work.
For a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I'm trying to like maybe if like the Grinch like with the Who's
Who
eating with the
pudding and who
Who's, yeah,
hash and all that stuff.
all that stuff. I'm sure someone that sounds like a someone makes like a cookbook that you go to like Books a Million
Right.
or Barnes and Noble. Be like, here's this thing. I'm really
Eat
surprised.
like the
I wonder.
characters and all that stuff.
Yeah, because they have like the Star Wars ones, or like now I think at like the Star Wars part of Disney, like they have like the cantina with like the different drinks. Like True Moo is gonna bring in like blue milk,
Mm.
which I'm like really surprised. Maybe you should have done that with Last Jedi. Maybe you should have put that out then. Not now. It's
Well, like I think in Universal they have like the Mario Land world, and they have restaurants
yeah,
there, like Princess Peach's Cafe or something like that.
something like
They
that.
have
Yeah,
different stuff like that. It's themed, which is
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. Which are really fun, but it's also like clearly it's like if you go to FYE, they have like their theme stuff, and it's all clearly repackaged stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's with way too much. Like they charge way too much for it, but it's like have this Pennywise thing or whatever. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's kind of all the fast food stuff I got, like hot takes like that. Because I am a very simple man. I'm not like extravagant with it like some people I know. They're like to those who like a lot of spicy food. Kudos to you. I don't dislike spicy food. I have to be in the mood for it. Like someone in my house recently bought spicy ramen, and I am like, I'll eat that when I'm in the mood for it. Like I'm not gonna scarf that down. That's something I have to be really in the mood for.
Right.
Or like, well, when they did this before they had troll the Packy, like they did those one chip challenges before they got in trouble with the last one they did. Like, if you like that stuff, if you want to do a high school prank, go right ahead. Because that really seems like, or like if you work kids camp, sounds like a challenge you would do.
Mm.
But like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything else. Um, Man, too bad
There's a
Silly's
lot.
like,
I was gonna say there's a lot of stuff out there to try, and maybe somebody will come up with some of these dishes that are somewhat what we think in our mind what some of this stuff would taste like.
oh yeah, oh yeah. The other thing is, it's kind of nice that I'm glad there aren't like, I'm glad I don't have Whataburger near me or other places, because like there are certain places that are like region specific. Like that's I'm like good. Like I don't want Whataburger access at all times.
Yeah.
I'd really like to. I don't like. I want to travel more. Like I like to go over to like Japan and like experience the authentic cuisine and not like the Americanized version of the cuisine. Like and actually enjoy it
Right.
versus just like, hey, let's add bacon to that. That's or whatever we do to it. Like going to other countries, it's like enjoy again living in the Midwest. So I would not advise eating seafood around here because it's I'm in a landlocked state. You know, to those who try seafood, I'm like, what are you doing? Uh, Trying like squid or some of those other stuff, like maybe pufferfish if I was brave enough to try it, like would be interesting. Going to other countries would be interesting, and like enjoying their cuisine. Now I wouldn't go Indiana Jones with it. I don't know if I want to try monkey brain, but I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
not trying all that exotic stuff. I don't know if I could get myself to try some of it. I know some people are kind of that's their thing, but man, just
Yeah.
keep it simple for me most of the time.
Oh yeah, it's like sorts of like kimchi. Not a big fan of a lot of vinegary stuff unless I have to really be in the mood for it.
Hmm.
Um, or like those because I have some family that are like Hindu or like Mid Eastern, so it's like we get a lot of that stuff in there. So it's like some of that's interesting, but also I'm sorry, I like a little meat with my food, not all vegetables. Like
Right.
I went to Indian place and it took me a while to figure out that there wasn't meat there because I kept finding it was like fried cauliflower, but
Yeah.
it looked like meat.
Really.
And to those who are, for whatever reason, you're a vegetarian, either for the because you don't want to eat meat or for like actual health reasons, you don't eat a lot of meat or stuff like that. Kudos to you.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm glad I have some friends that aren't vegetarian, but like they have there's certain stuff they can't eat. I'm really glad that like it's like oh I get to experience kind of that intrinsically through them differently. Because I have some friends they don't eat a lot of like processed stuff or they eat more gluten free um,
Right.
for like health reasons stuff like that. So I'm like oh good like I have those friends where it's like they like or it's like you have to experience that a little bit. Some gluten free food's not that bad. Some of it's horrible, but some of it's actually not that bad. Once you know what you're looking for when you're going through the Whole Foods, like and all that. So,
So what would you consider maybe one of the weirdest things you've ever tried?
um, I've had squid before. Wasn't that
Okay.
bad. Um, I again one of those things where I like to try like it was actually fresh squid because it was again I live in a landlocked state. Um, I had what did I? What was that one thing I had that was I don't remember what it was now. I know someone they cooked snake and I wasn't there for that. I'd like to try that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't like that. Yeah, that's like I think that's the worst thing I've probably had was squid. It's very chewy. Squid is very like understandably very chewy. I think it's one of those things where like you're not gonna make a full meal out of it. I think it's more like a side dish,
Hmm.
like an appetizer. Like that's something more you'd want. Um, I've had what sushi was it? Was a some fish. It wasn't that bad because everyone cooks for some reason with tilapia around here or cod for some reason because it's like the one few fish that the Midwest actually has that is decent and not like they bring in and it's not great um, when you make it correctly. Not that bad. Um, but yeah, again, just living in the Midwest because it's very basic. So when you get like the weird stuff, it's you would wish you would get a little more adventurous with it. Yeah, I'm trying to think because I think that's the weirdest thing I've had. Honestly, I'm sure there's something else. My mom's gonna watch this and be like, "Hey, you remember you had this thing?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I did have that thing."
I've
Sometimes I
had
forget.
uh, I've had fried dandelion before.
Hmm. I've heard of dandelion tea.
Yeah, I've had fried dandelions, I believe. If I
Interesting.
recall. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. Of course, I've had deer. That's not really that weird.
Yeah, venison. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not that bad.
just really, because like I said, I'm kind of more of a tame kind of guy when it comes to some food. So I don't know if I really had anything really out there.
Oh yeah. I know some people. They're like, I've had this thing. I was like, yeah, good for you. Like, but like they travel a lot, so they have a little more excuse to like to have access to some of that weirder stuff.
So,
So, um, yeah, like, would I want to try like pufferfish? Maybe. Again, I'd really have to amp myself up to do it. Um, it's just one of those things. But everyone has their different preferences in food. Some people I know are very plain Jane. I know someone that drinks gravy out of a cup, and I don't understand why that's a thing. Again, seems like a Midwest thing.
hmm.
When you go to the fair, like stuff like that, like butter on a fried butter on a stick.
Oh yeah,
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 like
I've heard of that one.
I don't understand those people. I'm like,
I can only imagine how disgusting that is, actually.
mm, like it's good thing there's medical people there at the fair.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Like your blood going through your arteries. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I've had fried Oreos. Those aren't
I've
that
had fried
weird.
Oreos. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are pretty good.
it's yeah. Those aren't bad. Um, some fair food is just like I don't know if I want to die today or nearly have a heart attack today. Like I don't
Hmm.
know. Again, fried butter not my thing. You can't pay me any money to try something like that. Um, not like no, absolutely not. Um, again, spicy stuff. Not I can do spicy stuff. I used to be way better with it. Just at again working kids camp where they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do a hot sauce challenge." They had to stop doing that because I think someone got hurt one year because they just threw a bunch of stuff in a cup, just not thinking about it, and gave it to someone, and it was like a whole mess. Now this is before I was doing camp, so all the fun was taken away by the time I started working camp.
Hmm.
But which that seems like that's a different video um,
Hmm.
about working about church ministries. Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I never had anything else like weird. Again, living in the Midwest, so everything's like really tame. But also,
Right.
my aspirations to try weird stuff isn't really there. One, maybe because I don't have access to it, so it's like, um, yeah, it's kind of like I have a whole. I mean, I have a whole rant about other stuff, but it's not food related.
That's
But
fair.
uh, but yeah, have you? Because I can't think of anything, any other food stuff, so we could just end it because I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if yeah, I can't think of anything else. I just gotta say, Burger King sucks. That's all I gotta say. Is just, I hate Burger King. I used to defend Burger King. I can't now. I cannot feel
What
like I
made you
can
change
defend
your
it.
mind?
I don't know what it was. One Burger King that's near me that I frequent because it's like right by my house
Mm,
is they put way too much condiments. Like I bit
mm,
into the burger and I was like, oh, this is way too much. I can't finish this.
hmm.
And I will finish a lot of stuff because I paid for it. I got to finish it. But I was like, they put way too much mayo and way too much ketchup. I was like, this is too much.
Wow.
I don't like ketchup, so a lot of times I'll actually order it without. But then they don't do it anyway, so I'm like, oh, whatever. It's just one of those things. I don't like Burger King. I really can't defend Subway. Maybe because I worked there for so long now, it's just like not a place I want to go. But like it's, I prefer Jim John's over Subway, but
Hmm.
it's one of those things. Like when it comes to like fresh sandwich places, I prefer Jimmy John's over a lot of stuff. I never had Jersey
Hmm.
Mike's, which is pretty good. I found a place I really liked. Um, that's really all I got like with sandwich places because they're all again all kind of the same. To make the joke, they're all pretty subpar. They're all pretty basic. So
Right, right.
I don't
Well,
know.
I would suggest to our listeners out there who may be watching or listening to this to give us some examples of some weird
Oh
stuff that they've
yes,
tried or what they prefer.
yes. Do you like Burger King? Explain why, and maybe it'll change my mind. I just the fries are good. Burger King used to be better when they had Surge and they got rid of it. That was your staple Burger King. Why'd you have to get rid of it?
There you go. Oh, I feel a little bitterness there.
Surge was good. Now is it as good as Mountain Dew? No, but it was pretty good, and a lot of people liked
It
it.
got the job done at least, right?
Yeah, it was the other citrus soda that was trying something. You know, you Coke had something and they got rid of it. At least at mine. I've heard other people say it's still there, but mine don't have it.
Really?
So yeah, maybe it's just like
Hmm.
a thing. They're like, oh, is that selling here? One guy is buying it. Maybe they just noticed like, yeah, one guy is actually buying it. We can't sell it here. I don't know. It's one of those things. But again, yeah,
Hmm.
again, like Crad was saying down in the comments, let us know. Do you have a favorite place to go? I always encourage whenever I do my videos. Let me know what you guys like, especially when it comes to my local stuff. Because when it goes like local stuff, let me know because I really like a lot of that stuff. Because I try to give love and appreciation to the local places. So I was supposed to shoot a ginger ales video today, and I kind of forgot about it because I went to the movies today. By the time I got out of the movie, I was like, "Oh, it's like 3:30. I really don't feel like going anywhere else." And by the time I get home, food's gonna like my dad's gonna start making dinner. So I was like, I'll table that video for later because I have off Easter. So if they're open, that video will be worked on if they're actually open. So a lot of places aren't going to be open
Hmm.
for Easter. So because
Speaking of which, Happy Easter, everybody!
oh
Thank the
yeah,
Lord
oh yeah.
for coming back from the dead. So
Yeah. Oh yes. Eat all your deviled eggs because my aunt hates deviled eggs and
I don't like them either.
she claims they're not a good food, but she always brings them for Easter and for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So I don't know what her point she was making because she's the one that makes them.
It's not a good food because of the word devil's in them. I was kidding.
Well, yeah.
I
They
mean,
okay.
angel food cake is awesome. Deviled eggs, not so much.
Deviled eggs are good. Depends on how you make them, how much mustard or other stuff you put in them, how much paprika you put on them. Depends on what you put in them. But the funny thing is, I don't like a lot of stuff that makes deviled eggs, but I like deviled eggs
Hmm.
in small
Interesting.
amounts. I have a cousin. We have to fight him because he will eat most of them.
Put down deviled egg, boy. No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's gotten better because there's more of us there now, so it's like you got to share. So
Oh, that's good, I guess.
yeah, yeah. He's learned his lesson eventually. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, let us know down in the comments. Thank you for those subscribing on YouTube. There was a little jump there. I moved some shorts around, so I think that's helped because I was like, oh, we have some X-Men stuff. I'll put those out, spread those out because we have the X-Men show going on right now. So we'll milk the views there.
Way to stay up
Um,
with the trends.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Or I put one because Strange said he didn't like King Kong. I put one of those out because Kong Godzilla came out today.
Right,
So
right.
at least at the time that we're recording this, because I saw it before this. I like the movie; it's actually really good. I'm sure Strange is just like, oh, not like I see, it's got King Kong in it. I liked it though. So uh, leave a comment over there. You know, also follow us at most social media platforms at Pizza Party Pod uh, over on TikTok. For some reason, the views are doing really well. They're like 500, 500, 400, 2, 2, 2.
Right.
I was like, what the flipping heck's going on? Like, this is annoying. Thanks, social media. You can also follow me at FT underscore Professor Food Reviews. What's a video I got coming out this week? I guess the maple syrup IHOP. Check that out. I think I'm gonna do this as a short. I've decided some videos are more short content than a full video. Uh, so stay tuned for that whenever I decide to drop that. Those actually been doing extra really well. Actually, the more since I've decided to do that, because I took a page out of Few Adams, who is a toy review guy I like watching. He's like, hey, some stuff's not going to be a full video that I can't make, so I'll just make it a short video because that's all my thoughts are is like for short content, which was like, hey, man, that's a good idea. Make some really good long form videos and some really good short form videos. So
there you go.
Follow all of that. I'm at most places at FT_physics reviews, like I said. Crad, where can they find you?
Mainly here on the Lone Pizza Party podcast, as well as God First, Geek Second, over on Discord.
Over on Discord.
And invite y'all, if you love geek culture as well as like to talk about your faith, express your faith, check us out there.
Oh yeah,
good group of people over there, and so yeah, check us out there as well.
And if you don't want to do Discord yet, there is a Instagram page, I think, as well.
Okay,
that's over there. So if you check that out, and then you're like, oh, I'll join the Discord. The links are all down below for all of our stuff, for our own socials, Strange's and Silly socials because they aren't here, and the Discord chat. That's also all down there. So stay tuned for the next episode. I got to reach out to the person for next episode. Right. Strange was like, hey, I happened to run into the guy making some game for the Redwall books. I was like, oh shoot, Redwall. I remember Redwall. That's a book series from forever ago, and that would make a really neat game.
Speaking of which, I would like to try some of those foods that they talk about in Redwall, because they talk about a lot of food in there.
Well, they're all animals, so of course they would talk about food.
That's true.
Yeah, it's so.
That's a sidebar there, but I thought, wait a minute, that's another good one, because I remember. I used to reading those books. I'm like, man, this is making me hungry, because they were talking about the different foods they would eat and whatnot. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah. So stay tuned for that. That video will be the next episode. So it'll be episode 19. So stay tuned for that. And guys, what are the three things we want to talk about, Crad? We want to talk about politics.
We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. And what was the other one? Pizza, maybe? Was it pizza?
No, we talk about pizza. We always talk about pizza.
That's true. Politics, religion, and what is the third one?
Why can't we ever think what the third one is?
Because we always rely on Silly to do that.
That is fair. That is fair.
You don't talk about politics, religion, and something else, but we're not talking about all three. So there you go. Fill in the blank. You can have your own third one.
That is a merch idea. Eventually, it's just we just leave one blank.
Yeah.
And you just fill it in with
Sharpie. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about ...
Yeah. Oh yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're gonna end it. Now we're starting.